So I'm gonna get this out of the way before the video even really kicks off. So on this review, you're gonna see me do a lot of referencing the original because one, it's hard not to because you can compare it to something. And two, I literally just sat down and watched the original like 10 minutes ago. So yeah, enjoy the video. Yo, what's poppin' people? Cole with Star Green, back with you guys with another video. Look, you guys first time finding my channel, anything like that for your boy, hit the subscribe button. Also the video. Yes, today I have a highly anticipated review, and I'm talking about the new Lilo and Stitch. Yes, the new 2025 version went to early screening, so I've seen it early. And look, the embargo's up, so I might as well drop my review. Now, is this as good as the original? Because I'm not gonna lie, I just saw the new movie and I just watched the original on my TV. So is it as good as the original? Is it not? Well, I'm gonna let you guys know. Is this even worth even seeing? I'm gonna let you guys know all that juicy stuff. But first thing first, gotta go ahead and cue that intro.
We got a problem, 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 it's probably you, yeah, we got a problem, we got a problem, yeah, we got a problem, we got a problem, we got a.
So y'all, let's go ahead and let's get right into it, man. First things first thing, man, this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Disney property, like original thing that they came out with. Years ago, I fell in love with the, you guys remember the cartoon version, or I just say the original version, if y'all however y'all want to put it, but pretty much the original version of
Lilo and Stitch.
It made it live action. Like, I'm super hyped for this. So how does it do? How was this movie overall? And I'm going to go ahead and say this off rip, y'all. It is not better than the original, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and say it loud and proud. You can fight me if you want to. I absolutely love the original. Like I said, just rewatched it just so I can be like, all right, let me compare the two. And I will say, yeah, after watching the new one, the live action, it's I don't even think it's nowhere near as good as the original. And I'm gonna give you guys my reasons why. But look, I want to go ahead and get into the positives first. I will say the animation in this actually looks really freaking good, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie, like, I've seen some of these Disney remakes live action and they look terrible, like this. Like, yo, what is this? Disney, what is this? Like, bro, I couldn't, like, just look at this, y'all. Just look at these pictures. I mean, goddamn, who's responsible for this? Like, look at this, y'all. Like, bro, I cannot dead ass look at that with, like, yo, I can't believe I even did that. So no, in this new Disney remake, there's nothing that like is hideous to look at. You're like, ew, like what the heck is that? There's nothing like that in this at all. Actually, like I said, I think all the animation is actually really done well, honestly, especially when you're looking at it from the original standpoint. You're like, damn, like I know who that character is, I know who that character is, I know who that character is, because they're so done well with the animation. So I gotta give you guys kudos for how good your animation looks. Another thing, I thought freaking Stitch was great. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. That's really the character I really cared about the most. But Stitch is a great character in the movie. He's just like he was in the original, kind of. He's written damn same way. You know what I'm saying? So you like him in the original, you'll like him here. And he's fun. I think he's definitely the best parts of the movie. The best parts of the movie center around when Stitch is on screen. When he's off screen, you kind of feel his mispresence there. And that's where I'll kind of get into my negatives. Look, y'all, and y'all can even ask Corey coming from Double Toasted, because I talked to him after the movie. I was like, the big problem with this movie, I feel like, that I saw in probably the first 5 minutes of the film, y'all, was this movie, to me, is just so rushed, y'all. If you sit there and you watch this movie, you're like, this movie is flying by, right? There's a lot of, if you guys remember the original, there's a lot of these emotional beats, a lot of these amazing moments that the original has that you still remember to this day, right? This movie tries to rush to those moments, and that's the problem. Because when you rush to these moments, then that big payoff that worked in the original doesn't work here. I'm telling you guys, when you see this movie, or if you don't see the movie, whatever, This movie is so, my biggest complaint is that it's just so rushed, y'all. It so wants to get from point A to point B that I was like, damn, did they like miss some scenes or did they cut some scenes? Like it just, like I said, the biggest problem with this movie, if I just symbolize it, is this movie just feels rushed. I remember Corey was telling me, he's like, a lot of these Disney movies, live actions feel rushed. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and add this one because I think that's the biggest problem with this movie. This movie doesn't allow anything to breathe. The movie, like the original, introduces things, characters doing stuff, right? But it's so quick to get to that next thing that it's not allowed to breathe. It's not allowed for the thing to have its moment. Whatever's going on, it's not allowed for it to have its moment. Or it's a little quick moment. It's like, all right, next thing, you know? And that's one of my problems, like I said, one of my problems with these Disney remakes. These remakes just feel like cash grabs from Disney, right? And I'm gonna have to say, this feels like another one, y'all. Because when you watch this movie, and like I said, I watched the original has heart into it. You know, like when you watch that original movie, there's things that like, yo, I'm laughing. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting sad at moments. You know, I'm really invested into everything that's going on. But when I watch this new movie today, I'm like, I don't really care, y'all. I was like, there's characters that I'm like, in the original, I really cared about them, and they're my favorite characters, which I'll get on one character in a minute. But there was all these characters that I cared about in the original, and when you see them in this new live action, it's not even because they're bad performances. Like I'm not discrediting any of the actors in the movie. It's because their characters are flat, right? Like I said, everything is rushed. You're not letting nothing breathe. And like I said, it just feels like this is just another Disney crash grab at the end of the day. Like I watched this and I'm like, man, there's no heart into this, y'all. This is just, okay, we'll cut that. We'll cut that. It don't even matter. We're gonna make $1 billion off this movie anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this is how Disney is just looking at these live actions. And I'll probably get into more stuff in a little bit, but as y'all heard me earlier, I was talking about characters that feel flat. And I said like a lot of characters feel flat. Let me give you guys one big character. So a character I was really looking forward to in this live action was my boy Bubbles. Man, you gotta remember Bubbles from the original. Man, Bubbles was my favorite character. I'm not even gonna lie. Man, he was so mysterious. He had a certain type of aura to him. You know, I was like, man, y'all bringing Bubbles back? Yes, I'm so excited to see Bubbles. Now, how do I tell y'all, in this new film, Bubbles is wasted, y'all. I promise y'all. But how did y'all ruin Bubbles? Like dead ass. Like I literally. I'm gonna tell y'all Bubbles in the movie. This is Bubbles in the movie played by Courtney B. Vance, right? And I swear he probably picked up the easiest check of his life. He's barely doing anything in the movie. You guys remember in the original movie how Bubbles was kind of like looking over them a little bit? Like he was kind of like a foster parent. Like pretty much here, he's like, look, you got 3 days to, yeah, you guys remember the original. If you got 3 days, if I don't see no improvement, then I'm taking her away from you. You guys remember all that stuff, right? Well, now in this new movie, Bubbles don't do that. He's just a straight up FBI agent. And they have a new character that does that role. So now Bubbles' role becomes pointless pretty much. Like I promise y'all, if y'all took Bubbles out the film, the movie does not change at all. He literally has damn nothing to do. Like he has his own little mission. You know what I'm saying? FBI agent, y'all can guess what he's trying to do. But after a while, that whole mission kind of just goes nowhere. So he really don't have nothing to do in this movie. Y'all wasted Bubbles. Yes, I'm going to say that. Disney, how did y'all waste Bubbles like this? Y'all could have legitimately just had him do the same thing he was doing in the original, and we would have all been good. But no, y'all had to rewrite the character a little bit. Like, bro, y'all making, like, these are mistakes that just shouldn't be made. Another character that's not even in the movie at all is Mr. Gantu. Look, now I'm all for trying to switch it up, you know what I'm saying? Try to do something new with it. But I felt like this character was needed because me watching the film, I'm sitting back, I'm like, there is something just missing. There's something missing from this movie that is big. And to me, I feel like there's no Mr. Gantu in this one. The reason why Mr. Gantu works so much is because he had a hatred for Stitch. Like they really had a really good rivalry in that, and that's something that really keeps the audience engaged when you're watching it. This movie doesn't have that at all. Like the only real kind of rivalry you have there is the other rivalry, which is Jumba and Stitch. Now, I mean, you guys know there was that rivalry in the original, and they tried, like I said, bring it back here, but it's just not as good. Now, one thing they do with the character that's a little bit different is they have these characters turn into humans. Jumba and Planky, they have these two turn to humans. Now, I don't know if that was because of budget and they didn't want to spend too much on the animation, or have them be in animation form the entirety of the film. But yes, when these two, like in the original, when they come to Earth, the one thing that's changed is like they're still doing incognito, but they have a little device that makes them turn into like other human beings. Which I'm like, I'm not mad at that change. You know what I'm saying? It's just I see it for budget issues, and I could see like it'd be weird to just see like animation throughout the entirety of the film unless it's Stitch. But to me, like they don't even have as good chemistry. You know what I'm saying? Especially Jumba and Stitch. I feel like their chemistry isn't as well as it was in the original version that was using. I know I keep comparing the original version because I really just sat down and just watched it and I was just writing notes down. But yeah, I just feel like there's just things missing. I think one of the coolest things about the original was how the heck Jumba would try to outsmart Stitch, right? That was one of the coolest things when I was just sitting down rewatching it. I was like, see, these are these moments right here. But in the new one, you don't really have too many of those moments. They try here and there. It's like maybe one or two here and there. But the originals had so much more, and they were so more better written, I would say. And yeah, I know I'm still talking about the characters, but the big thing for me overall when it came to all these characters, like I said earlier, was that all these characters, just like the plot, just like the story, felt rushed. None of these characters had any character development or grew anything like that unless it was forced. So yeah, that was one of the biggest bummers for me, y'all. Sitting back watching the movie and thinking, god damn, y'all didn't even try on some of these characters. Now at the original, it's funny. A lot of my laughs from the movie came from Stitch interacting with other characters, doing stuff with other characters. But I will even tell you guys, they were not even as good as the original. Man, you guys remember the original, man. You had scenes like this.
You shouldn't play with guns.
And those scenes were done so well. Now, in this one, in the new one, they do have some of those scenes, but to me, they're funny, but they're not as good as the original. That's all I will say, y'all. I know I keep talking about the original, but I'm so sorry. But like I said, it's still funny at the end of the day. I still got some laughs in there. But yeah, y'all, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and get my rating out the way. Look, like I said, this is probably my most anticipated Disney live action that they'll remake, that they'll try to do. Like I said, just because I love the original, and I know I keep talking about the original, I'm so sorry, but it's kind of hard to do this review without going and referencing the original, especially when I just sat down and rewatched it. But look, y'all, if y'all really want to watch Lilo and Stitch, just go watch the original, y'all. It is so much better to me. The only things I really think that were really done well in this was this movie had really good animation. I thought the comedy was still good. Watching this movie, I never felt bored at any point. There was never a point while watching a movie where I was like, I can't wait for this to hurry up and finish. No, I would say there was points where I actually enjoyed myself. I actually had fun watching the film. So I don't want y'all thinking I'm just being all around negative on this one. There is some good things in this film still, but it just aren't gonna elevate a movie. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, if you're doing a remake, to me, the remake needs to be as good or better than the original, especially when the original came out freaking, what is this, 23 years ago? Like, come on, y'all have time to improve this. And I feel like just like a lot of the other Disney remakes, This one just falls flat, y'all. I'm sorry. And I was not expecting to say this at all. Y'all gotta understand, bro. I was going into this new one hyped. I ain't gonna lie. I was so looking forward to this one. And to walk out and just be mixed on it. I was like, man, where do I want to lean on this? And I think I'm finally gonna say, man, I'm probably gonna go ahead. And I understand that this one isn't aimed towards me no more. Like when they making these movies, I'm not the target audience no more. You know, I've outgrown my audience for these type of films anymore. Maybe that's what's doing it for me. But yeah, I'll say I'll probably, and this is me being nice, I'll probably go a 6 out of 10, y'all. And that's, like I said, that's just me being nice. And if someone were to ask me, like, Cobra, if you've never seen the original, how would this new one just fare on its own? And I would still say my criticisms will probably be the same. I think the characters are flat, except for Lilo, and that's because she gets the most amount of freaking screen time. I still feel like the movie is very rushed in trying to hurry up to get from point A to point B. Like I said, it does look better than a lot of the other Disney remakes, but still, y'all, look. I would have just preferred if they would have just beat for beat the original. I would have preferred that, but what we got here is, it just feels like there's a lot missing from the movie. Like, even when I was sitting back and I was watching the original after I saw the new one today, I was sitting back, like, there's montages with Lilo and Stitch, and they are so well done in the original cartoon. They look so good. They take their time with it. You see over time, like, okay, this is how they're going more and more closer. But if you watch this new one, it's like they might throw 2 scenes in there and they're like, hey, look, hey, they're best of friends now. I'm like, we're not gonna spend more time on this? Are we serious, Disney? And it just, like I said, the biggest thing, it just feels like this movie is rushed, and I wish it just did not feel like, it felt like the pacing just going way too fast. To the point where I was like, can we not slow down for a second? But hey, that's my review on it, y'all. Man, y'all first time finding my channel, subscribe button. Also the video, tell me your thoughts, complaint, criticism. Throw it down below. And hey, man, we'll see you guys next one. Peace.